All right. It has been a minute. It's been a while. Yes, we're back here at No Filter Sports here on Beltway Radio and beyond. I am your host, Brian 3SL. And in the corner, usually she's by herself, but this time she's got a guest. Miss Kiki. Who's the guest here?
I got Mr. Coleman.
Okay. Mr. Coleman.
Yeah.
Okay. Mr. Coleman.
Sports enthusiast, fanatic,
I see.
cowboy fan. Yeah.
Yes. Oh, that's where I remember. Usually on No Filter, Real Talk Uncensored, you guys always have this collaboration of cowboyism on your program.
Absolutely. Say hi to everyone.
What's going on, everybody?
Cool. So I know Mr. Coleman is very. He's got other places to go, but it has been a minute, and in a couple of days we'll finally have some football. And I figured this is the best time to talk about it and things of that nature. I know we've been gone. There's been a lot going on in our lives, but I really want to get these quick questions in. But mainly since you guys are not Commander fans or Washington football fans, but there's this one weird question that came about thanks to our Orange Peel in chief. Pretty much. He sparked a sort of weird conversation debate. But first off, it started with this. He tweeted, and then he put on his social truth site and pretty much expressed the fact that he wants the Commanders to go back to being the Washington Redskins. Mm-hmm. And also the fact that the Cleveland Indians bringing back their name. Currently, they're known as the Cleveland Guardians. First, in this aspect, do you feel? I have my own theories, but do you guys feel? Do you want the Commanders to go back to being Redskins?
I do. I do. I think a lot of people feel the same way. They want the name to be changed back. But I'm just going to answer that question. But it's more layers to that. But that's just the answer to your question. I do want the name to be changed back.
Okay, Miss Kiki, do you want to revert it back?
I don't care. I want what will make everyone happy. Like I don't have skin in the game. But I dare add, I think that it's inappropriate to use your presidential flex. I think that's inappropriate. You didn't ask me that, but I'm offering that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what I was about to hint at, but I was like, you just answer the question first.
Yeah, so we'll go further along this because, like you guys are hinting, now we're going to go into it because Mr. Trump wants to, if the Commanders do not change their name, it may hinder their new stadium deal that they're getting. Wow. Now, unlike you were kind of pushing there, going that route, Kiki, but Mr. Coleman, how do you feel about that aspect?
I feel that it's totally wrong. I feel like, first of all, you're a president. You should have way more important or other things to be thinking about instead of trying to blackmail these people out of this deal because you want a name change. Like, I think overall in the recent months to a year that there has been more support than it was when Daniel Snyder was the owner to have that name changed to the Washington Redskins. And I feel like the people have to demand that. And I think that, yes, it's been more people speaking out wanting the change, but I think it has to come from there. It has to come from there. But you using your presidential status to force somebody to do something, or you want to block the stadium, that's totally wrong. You're misusing your power.
Yes.
And we don't need that in sports right now. We already got a lot of owners and major power play and figures in there. We don't need the president chiming in on this. And it's to stop a deal of that happening. You're stopping the people from getting a new stadium. You're stopping the organization from progressing. We all know how bad their stadium is right now, and they've been trying to get this new stadium for a long time. And now you want to do that because you don't like the name? Like, dude, get out of here. Like, really?
So I kind of agree. Our other special guest will be coming in shortly, so he's
hello
log in shortly. I personally, let's say this, 30 years ago, over 30 years ago, I was in the group where I felt there was this mild rise of I don't know where this organization came from, who wanted to change the names not only for the Washington Redskins and the Cleveland Indians, but also the Atlanta Braves and the Kansas City Chiefs. And at that time, it was the fact that I felt like, and it was known, they were the top tier teams in the 90s. They were that dominant, and a lot of people felt like, oh, it's time for a name change. I think most recently, mind you, the Braves and Chiefs, they've kept their their names so far, but with the Cleveland Indians going to the Cleveland Guardians, and then now the Redskins gone, being right now evolved into Commanders, I've gotten used to it. I always wanted the Indians to go back to being the Spiders anyway. I never liked the Guardians name, but that's them. But Redskins, Commanders, it's like whatever. One, I'm not a fan of the team anymore, but it's just, to me personally, I just felt like I if you're going to change the name or rebrand, as they like to call it nowadays, I would give me an understandable reason for it. I think for Daniel Snyder at the time when he changed it, it was an out to deflate all that crazy negative issues that he was going through, and that was it. I think trying to bring it back now, and since it's Donald Trump doing it, it's like, again, trying to negate all the negative things he's going through.
Yeah, it just cancel all the, like, even to the point if they was trying to bring, like, me personally, you asked me did I prefer the name change, and I do prefer it, but overall it's like, it's really, I'm kind of like the same boat. It's really not that serious to me. I got used to Commanders, but the fact that he putting his name on the situation now is just stinks. Like, I don't want the name to change if it's going to be because of him. Right. If it changed, I want to be because the outcry of the people, or a lot of people, or organizations where that they was offended or was offended. Who knows if they was offended or not? I know some was, but I would want the people to change it, not Trump. Like, it just stanked it up.
So my opinion, I feel like, what dog do you have in the fight? I've never, like, to me, if Trump was there on the front lines when it first got changed, and he was mad about it, he was angry. Who even knew that you was a football fan? Who even knew that you liked them?
Oh, you don't know the story of Donald Trump? He's been for years trying to
own an organization since the AFL.
So say fucking less. So as I continue my rant, you weren't on the front lines for the right reasons. You weren't on the front lines when you didn't say it was wrong. It was an injustice when they changed it. Like, I didn't see your name. I see a lot of names swirled about. Yours wasn't one that, if it was there, it didn't stick. Two, I feel like there should be areas that presidents don't go. Like this, you're coming down to fight this fight when we got so many other injustices in the world that need your attention. 2, 3.4, 5. Subsection B. I feel like when you do stuff like this, there's an agenda, and now I need to find out what the agenda is. It ain't just because you feel away. Because when you threaten, like, there's a thing when you rule on threats and negative influence. And I feel like when you add your name to it, it's something else behind it. And I want to know what now.
Yeah. The real funny thing is that 12 years ago, Trump tweeted, when Twitter was Twitter, that he was kind of like what you just said, Mr. Cole. He literally said, it's like, oh, president shouldn't be getting involved, in name changing, it shouldn't be dealing with that, blah, 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 blah. And then just to see him 12 years later to do this, it's kind of like, dude, you have dementia.
I
know. So I do felt like, I'm in agreement with here. It's like, no, I don't know what is it. He gets involved in these things, or trying to get involved. Let's put it that way. And I to this day, I still kind of confused. I was like, what does the president have to deal with whatever an NFL team does. And I think, unfortunately, I think it leads into this aspect of, where the city of Washington, D.C. is hindered and handicapped, so to speak, by, still being a district and not being a state and doing its own thing. Because I felt like, because again, it's federal land and they got to go through the ups and downs, even though everything looks cool. Everything's been, the paperwork's look like it's all legit and stuff like that.
Legit.
Yeah, but there's always this federal aspect of it, and it just blows everything out, because that's what happened with when Jack Cook was trying to get this stadium deal initially, and that's why the stadium's out in PG County and not in the district, because of this federal issues. And he tried to do everything by the book and all that stuff, but it's like, and he was building it on his own money, his dollar,
his pockets, yeah,
out of his own pocket. And then for whatever reason, it's like, it's like, no, we're not doing it. Mainly it was this, if I remember correctly, it was the city government that pretty much initially blocked him out, and he was going to do it somewhere initially by pretty much, I think, near the Navy Yard area.
Near the Navy Yard, yeah.
But they said no, and it's like, all right, we'll do it in PG, and he dished out the cash, and look where we are now. So still waiting for our special guest, because I still want to get his input on this, and as well as everything else. But I want to talk to you guys about your team, your the beloved Star team. How do you guys see this upcoming season?
You want me to answer?
You can start. You're the guy.
Backstory. The Dallas Cowboys, let's say last season, I did not support my team last season. I supported from a distance. I still was a Cowboy fan, but I chose, I'm not going to any games. I'm not buying no merch. If you talk shit about me, about my team, I'm gonna say, yep, you're right. And I'm not even gonna argue. Just because how the offseason was handled, how you handle contracts, how you handled that contract. Yeah. It's terrible. And I think this year, talent-wise, that our team is way better than a lot of people are thinking. I think the draft picks that we did make, I think the free agent picks that we did make, it made our team a lot stronger. I did not agree with the head coach decision, but I agree with the assistants that we have. We have a strong assistant staff. So I can take a coach that is not, fully matured in the NFL if he has a strong staff behind him. So I feel like this year we are like, Vegas is only, the line is 7.5 games to win 7.5 games this season. I think we're going to win 10 games this year. I think that this team will be a lot better. But once again, Jerry don't want to pay his players. Like we have Parsons still not signed. And I don't know if he does this because he likes to drag this out to make it a spectacle, or it's an ego thing. But this guy's got the goods. You want to keep him on your team, so sign him a year before. He could have signed Parsons last year, and it would have been way cheaper because these other contracts wouldn't have been done this year. So it's still Jerry Jones. We still got Jerry Jones. So I feel like overall, I think our team will be better than what people expect. I'm not saying Super Bowl. I'm not even saying a long playoff run, but like Vegas got us at 7.5. 7.5 don't get you in the playoffs, not in the NFC East. I think we're going to be a really good team. I think the Eagles are still going to be good, but for some odd reason, it just feels like Super Bowl hangover. An injury happens, something always bad happens. But I think the Eagles are going to be good. I think the Commanders are going to, and this is no hate because I'm a Cowboy fan, I think the Commanders are going to take a slight bump slide. Only because 8 of their games came down to the last possession. And out of those 8 or 9, I think it was 8 or 9, I forgot what the statistics was, but 8 or 9 came down to the last possession, and they was on the positive outcome of that. You cannot do that 2 years in a row. They either going to take a step up where they're not down to the last possession in games and they're dominating people, or I think they're going to take a lot more losses than what they had last year. And there's a real thing called the sophomore slump when it comes to quarterbacks. in the NFL. And I think Jaden Daniels, there's tape on him now. I think he's a phenomenal quarterback. I think he's going to take a bump. I think the Giants are going to be slightly better, but they're another year away to me. I think they're building. They got a lot of young talent over there, but I think they're another year away to compete in the division. So I just feel like we're gonna be better than expected. I'll leave it at that.
Okay. Well, I want to go. Okay, I want to go back to the previous question because we have our special guest, and our special guest is Kiki's co-host of Real Talk Uncut.
What's going on, family? What's happening? I think I caught the tail end of what Mr. Coleman was talking about. I think he was talking about his Cowboys.
He asked how I felt about the team this year.
Yeah, but I do want to revert it back to the initial question. The initial question that we started off with was about, first off, Trump wanting to have the Commanders revert back to being known as the Washington Redskins. How do you feel about that?
I believe that's just a bullying tactic right there. I mean, he has so much more on his plate to worry about, right, than worry about what a football team's name is. And for you to weigh in, that's just a bullying tactic at that point. Mind your business, man. Worry about what you got going on in the world and how you're conducting yourself as a president versus worrying about what a football team name is. That, to me, doesn't make any sense at all. You know, but I'm not with this type of president. I'm not surprised. Not surprised.
Okay. Well, now since you're in, I'm going to lead into it's sort of like a tag on because, like I said to Mr. Coleman and Kiki, was this question led into another question, or his comment led into this question because Trump's comments kind of is maybe preventing the Commanders with their new stadium deal. And then out of the blues, one thing to have Trump comment about what's going on with an NFL team that is not his, keep in mind, here's another person that end up saying some dumb shit. So I will let you guys hear about this one.
Oh, God.
I've always wanted the state of Maryland that the Ravens and the Washington Commanders could share with a lot of employment emanating from DC, but still be able to, because again, you wouldn't have to worry about stuff like this. That's just my personal opinion. That was the idea that I threw out last year, that the Ravens and the Commanders should actually share stadium. You got a minimum of 17 to 18 weeks where you got games there, plus playoff games and all of that stuff, plus events in the offseason. And you know what? And it's the state of Maryland that you have to deal with instead of this kind of nonsense. But they didn't do.
Okay.
No.
All right. I have my soapbox. I'm going to start with Tone. What do you think of
that? Is the most idiotic idea I've ever heard of. Let's start with that. It's the most idiotic idea. But then I'm not surprised. Look who it's coming from. I mean, Stephen A. is cool in some ways, but right there, that's another person on the idiot box. We really going to listen to him? Come on, man. How can you have guys? How could you have Washington and Baltimore share a stadium?
No.
No.
How does that even work? How does that even look? What does that even look like? You're talking about Baltimore and Washington, two different places. They may be an hour apart from each other, 45 minutes or whatever the case may be, but you can't have them both share a stadium. That's just crazy.
No.
Chicken, am I alone in this?
Yeah. You're not alone. Like I said, I'll have my rant. I'll let Miss Kiki take the
nope, noper, and nopist. One, Washington is Washington and Maryland is Maryland. Baltimore is Maryland. Like, I feel like just because the Jets do it and New York do it, just because LA do it and somebody else does it, I feel like it's a special thing. Like, it doesn't have to be. I don't understand the reason why that would happen.
Yeah, if it was like the Washington Ravens and the Washington Commanders, then I could be like, I get it, but it's two different cities. I don't care how small the state is. I don't care how small the state is. It's still two separate cities. You're not telling when the Raiders was in Oakland to be if you're in Oakland, you're the Oakland Raiders. If you're in LA, you're the LA Chargers. If you whatever city you in, if you're in Houston, You're in the Houston Texans. You're the Dallas Cowboys. It's two separate cities. I don't give a fuck how small the state is. It's still two separate cities.
Can I tag someone else in real quick?
Go ahead.
Come on. Introducing.
The Steelers cheerleader.
Oh, that's a Steelers. Oh God, not a Steelers fan. You're bringing a Steelers fan. Isn't their season over before it started already?
Oh, God.
I mean,
I'm not
just
saying
saying.
I am
I'm
objective.
gonna just say this, and we're gonna move on. We gonna say this about my Steelers and move on. However, tell Stephen A. Smith, shut his stupid ass up. One.
Facts.
Two, the stadium is located in Baltimore. It's not the same thing as the Jets and the Giants, which in a whole different area, and they share it, and it's big enough. This and another. The stadium is in Baltimore.
Ain't got room for
In New York, exactly. Why do I got to share with you when I can get it built here? That'd be like Pittsburgh going to Cleveland to play when they wasn't trying to give them Heinz Field at first.
Right. No.
I agree.
Okay.
Come on, Soapbox.
I mean, at that point, man, what are we really doing? That's just insane. You know what I mean? Two different states sharing a stadium is diabolical.
Okay. I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna give a mild history lesson. One.
Okay.
After 1984, when the Baltimore Colts left, pretty much the NFL was willing to send the Redskin market up to Baltimore.
Mm-hmm.
The Baltimore fan base said, "Hell no, we don't want it. We'll watch anything else, but we ain't having Washington. They didn't want it then, they ain't want it now, and most definitely, I can tell they don't want to share." And Stephen A., I mean, mind you, I've seen his work for a very long time. If you guys remember, back in the day when George Michael had his press show called Full Court Press, and I remember him being a special guest on there. He had that very arrogance then, and he has this very arrogance now, and he'll have his very arrogant, idiotic mindset forever. Because I felt like, dude, if you understand the fact is like the reasonings, they're kind of different with the MetLife situation or even SoFi. Those situations, the NFL kind of created for themselves because they want to have, those are their top two markets. Well, the Washington Baltimore area are two separate markets, even though he doesn't realize that, but they are. And for him to say that we share the Commanders and the Ravens need to share. No.
So necessary.
Do that. And to be honest with you, it's like it is a completely different vibe when you go to FedEx or now this Northwest Stadium and going up to Raven Stadium. There's two different vibes. And if you do not understand that, then dude, you definitely don't live here.
True.
And I feel like the situation when you have the dueling to two teams in one place, it is not only conflicting, but it's also not financially sound. Because when it comes to MetLife, I think MetLife has been very successful. But with SoFi, between the Rams and the Chargers, it's really not been good for these last few years. And if you check the numbers financially, it hasn't been good, even for let's say the Chargers, even though they look like the better team on paper. Even though the Rams won their inaugural Super Bowl in that place, it really doesn't benefit both teams at the same time. Even though it's like you can say, oh, there'll be more jobs, there's a lot more going on, but you're talking about in 4.5 months, a lot be going on. But after that, then what? I mean, Blackpink is not going to be touring there for the remaining 8 months there. No, it's not going to sell out like that. No, I think you have to really be realistic when it comes to, like you said, Mr. Coleman, teams that have their own place. It's like there's a reason for it.
Yes, I didn't answer you because he's talking. I said the door open. Go ahead.
So But I feel like, yeah, we all agree. Stephen A, just stay in that tri-state area and worry about what's going on there, because you do not know what's going on.
And Stephen A is saying that from another state, like, and all you got to do is make one run. You make one run from here to A&T. That's A&T, right? No, A&T is us. With M&T, make one run from here to M&T and one run from here to FedEx Field and now Northwest Stadium, and you will see there's no way in four hells that no one, I don't care which fan you are, if you made that run, it doesn't make sense for Washington and Baltimore to share the same stadium. That's just stupid.
It's stupid. Okay, let's get into the nitty-gritty. Tone, I want to talk about we already talked about the Cowboys. Let's talk about your team. Where do you think your team is right now going into the 2023?
If you're talking about JD sophomore year, I think it's gonna be a little more poised. I don't see the Jaden train slowing down. I think a lot of things are being taken away right now with Terry and his contract that he wants. And part of me, I'm like 50-50 on the fence with that. And the reason why I say I'm 50-50 on the fence with that is, dude, you're getting 20. Granted, your numbers are better than some other players making more. And come to some resolution like that. Glad to see the show back up the training camp.
Me too.
But overall, I feel like my team is going to be interesting this year. I'm not going to jump out there and predict that, you know what I mean, we're heading back to the Super Bowl, as some fans may say.
Yeah.
I think they're going to be interesting this year. You know.
Okay.
I'm a little worried about that.
Okay.
You worried about what?
You know, overall,
you worried about again?
I think the progression is going to be.
You worried about what? You worried about what? You kind of went in and out. Sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm in a bad area. I'm worried about like the Von Millers. You know,
really?
I mean, dude.
I mean,
it's easy to say when you're younger, your body heals faster. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I think will our defense show more toughness? Yes, I think so. I think they're going to fix some of the issues. They have fixed some of the issues that were plaguing us in the secondary. I think those issues have been fixed. I think the total, I think we're still going to be a problem this year. But you know what I mean? I'm here for me. I think I want to say 10-6.
Okay.
I think y'all gonna have a 2-game difference. Either y'all gonna be 2 games better, or y'all gonna be 2 games worse. I think too many of y'all games came down to the last possession, and to bank on that to happen again, because y'all was on the good end of the last possession a lot of times. I think with the tape being out on JD, I still think JD is a phenomenal quarterback. I think he will be the best quarterback in our division for the next couple of years. I project him being way better than Jalen Hurts, and Dak Prescott is just past his past his time. I wouldn't even have resigned him last year, to be honest with you. But I think he would be the best quarterback.
I think that hurts your team too.
Huh? Oh,
I think he said he'll hurt your team.
Yeah, he will. Dak will. And I think our whole season is based on Dak. I feel that with the talent that we have, he is the deciding factor of our team. But speaking on the Commanders, like I said, I think this is going to be a 2-game slide. I think it's going to be either 2 games worse or 2 games better. It's going to be either or, because I don't think it's going to y'all going to have to put the ass this year. Y'all going to have to beat teams by more than 1 possession this year. And if y'all don't, that's where the 2 games
I agree with you. I agree with you on that. I completely agree with you on that. But I don't think you're going to see the same team from last year. I think this year it's going to be more fire. It's going to be more fire to that team. I don't see them coming down to a lot of those 1 possession games, or you know what I mean, final drive and win type games. I don't see that this year. You know, I just don't. I personally don't. But I'm sticking with my original thing. I said 10-6. That's how I feel. Do I feel we will be better than your team? I think so. The Eagles, though, they just I don't know. I don't know about the Eagles. Now, another team that we need to keep a close eye on is the Giants.
I think
Gotta
they're a
keep-
year away.
Me too.
I think they're a
They
year
give them
away.
another year or two, and Giants can be a problem again. Not right now.
I think somebody in this division is going to get hit with an injury bug, a real major injury bug. Either it's going to be us, y'all, or the Eagles.
Oh, really?
Somebody in our division is going to get hit with a major injury. It happens all the time. Somebody's going to get hit, and then whatever we projecting, it's going to throw off the projection. Like I said, they got the Cowboys at 7-5. He asked me the same question. I said we're better than that. I don't know what we're going to do. I don't know where we're going to go. I'm not saying Super Bowl. I'm not saying deep playoff run, but I do think we're going to win more than 8 games this year.
Okay. Do you feel like you're going to win those 8 games with Dak?
Unless Dak gets hurt.
Well, I have Redskins fans claiming Super Bowl.
No. And it's realistic. I mean, it sounds good, but realistically, I don't know. No, last year was definitely a Cinderella season. It was. You know what I mean? It was unexpected. You didn't expect this team to come out and do what they did last year. You know what I mean? Now, do they capitalize on that and do they progress forward? I believe them progressing forward, but I don't see them making it back to where they were at last year. Unless something like Mr. Coleman says it's a miracle or there's major injuries in the division that can catapult them into that type of position. But right now, I don't see it happening. I just don't.
Okay.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I think the Eagles, will they be poised? I don't see them doing it. I don't see them going back this year. I see them going deep in the playoffs, but I don't see them going back this year. You know what I mean? I'm going to stand on my soapbox and say I don't think Jalen Hurts is that good. I just think Jalen Hurts is in a great situation with Philadelphia. You know, if you take that team in Philly and you put Dak in that lineup, Dak could be a superstar too. That's not no shots. I'm just saying the way that team is set up and built, you could put anybody back there.
They got weapons. They got weapons. Let's be clear.
Exactly. So, you know, I think I'm still going to say with the Cowboys, I still feel like Jerry is your biggest downfall. Yeah. Jerry will always be your biggest downfall. Until he moves and gets out the way and sits down, I can't see y'all return to grace or return to a Super Bowl. I just can't. It's just he's not the man he thinks he is. I think he's the one holding your team back. Now, you have some talent, but it all plays out to see what happens on the field.
Right.
Okay.
All right. Since mainly you guys are looking at we have the NFC, like 2/3 of the NFC East here.
We do.
Let's say the entire conference itself. So pretty much, I'm not hearing the Eagles probably winning it. Who do you see winning the entire conference?
Did you say 2/3?
Well, 2/4. Well, no, the Giants.
Sorry, it's more than me. I can't let it pass. Sorry, go ahead.
I can't make that prediction just yet.
I look at the teams that made the playoffs last year that no one's talking about. I think the Rams will be better.
Amen.
I mean, let's be honest. The Rams was one possession from being in the Super Bowl.
Amen.
And nobody is saying that. They was one possession from making it to the Super Bowl. I think the Rams will be good. I think the Packers is going to be really good. I agree. I don't like nobody in the South. I think Atlanta will be better, but I don't like nobody in the South. I think those two teams. I think Chicago will be better, but I still like the Packers. I still like the Rams. He's at NFC. NFC. So I think those two teams will be. I think Detroit is going to take a down spiral. I think the 49ers are going to take a down spiral. I think the teams
I was wondering why you didn't mention Detroit. And you think they're going to take a step back? They're going to regress?
They lost their whole staff. They lost everybody. They got gutted from the staff. I don't know. I think that division. I think the Vikings. Well, the Vikings are not going to repeat. The Vikings last year was a great regular season. I think it's going to come down to the Packers and Chicago in that division.
Okay.
I feel like I do agree with you staff wise, but I think in that team it wasn't built on just one area. I think everything everything was in place. And I feel like Campbell is still there. I feel another good season coming on. I'm not saying.
I think their window closed. They had 2 years. They should have beat the 49ers in the playoffs.
They should have.
2 years ago.
Last year they were injury prone. They got the bug last year.
Very injury prone, and they still willed their way. I just feel like you're asking for a team to do it 3 years in a row, while everybody in your division is getting better.
That division was bad last year. That division was nice. The division was nice, was it not?
Yeah, it was okay. I think Chicago gets a little bit better, but not much.
Yeah.
No. Very early, y'all know the Vikings, the Chicago, they all was up very early. The division wasn't bad.
Okay, Minnesota had a Cinderella season. They had a Cinderella season.
Okay.
Minnesota will not be that team that you saw last year. I promise you that. I don't see that happening at all.
That's why I say I like Chicago. Chicago got a better. To be honest with you, all last year we kept saying the team is talented, but the coach keep fucking up. The head coach was terrible. He's a phenomenal defensive coordinator. But every coordinator is not a good head coach. They had time management problems. He didn't know how to handle the media. He didn't know how to handle the rookie quarterback. His late game decisions was terrible. And now they have guess who coach? They got the Detroit Lions coach.
Ben Johnson.
They got Ben Johnson.
Well, he wasn't a coach.
That's karma, though. That's karma. Because
he was a coordinator.
That's karma. It's karma. Because they had all that stuff in place.
If we want to talk about, if we're going to start talking about the AFC, let's talk about the AFC. Let's talk about his Bengals, his Ravens, because I let the cat out the bag. I think the Bengals are going to be a better team this year. I think the Bengals are going to be the team you better watch. You know what I mean? I think the Bengals were a better team than they played how they played last year.
Well, here's the funny thing: you think the Cowboys have issues, with their, keeping their players. The Bengals have the same thing. I mean, they're breaking bank to keep this core group with Burrows leading and his three receivers. They are struggling to keep them, and it kind of exposed their offensive line and their defense entirely because they're putting so much money into these four guys. And I really think it's like the Bengals. I treat them as a threat. Yes, every year. In addition to the Steelers, in addition to the Browns. Well, I don't know about the Browns this year after that guy dumped himself.
They got three quarterbacks. Stop it off.
Being a Ravens fan, do y'all feel? I think y'all have the most pressure out of any team in the NFL to do something this year.
All right, the Ravens is like in this scenario. It's pretty much is like this. Chiefs are number one. Then it's us and the Bills. Everybody else is like, okay, you guys figuring it out. Us Bills and the Chiefs. I keep saying us. Ravens, Bills, and the Chiefs. It's going to be those three every time. And I think the fact is like the pressure will be on the Bills and the Ravens. Period. Because of the fact it's like we have to get over the hump, and that hump is in Kansas City. And until we do that, we're at a loss. We can have another great season winning their division, or have a great decent record, or have a good run in the playoffs. Yeah. But if we deal with Kansas City again,
y'all Super Bowl bust.
You have to deal with Kansas City to get to the top of the mountain. You
have to. It's just like over a decade ago with the Patriots. It's like if you can't get over the New England Patriots, what can you do?
No way. It's no way. Exactly. You're just gonna disrespectfully slide right on by Pittsburgh like that.
Over who? Over Pittsburgh? Did she say Pittsburgh?
Yes.
Did you really say? Did you really say Pittsburgh?
I know you want to represent. I know your homegirl's back there, but if she wants to come back along and try to defend her team, I'll have her come on and say it, because honestly, it's like, what do they have? They don't have
Exactly.
They got to win 10
You have nothing.
They have cool. I
That
give them
team
this.
is gonna
I
be-
like their new, 1933 uniforms. I'll give them that. So, but
I feel like I'm an Aaron Rodgers fan forever. And I feel like the situation that he's in, it kind of lends to some progress. I'm not saying contention. I'm just saying some progress because we gave Alex Smith the same grace. Let's give it to him. Even though he's older, let's give it to him.
Wait.
okay.
Alex Smith came to Washington and took them to the playoffs. We saw what Aaron did last year in New Jersey with the Jets.
He got hurt. He got hurt.
1 year.
I think the Pittsburgh situation is better than the Jets.
That's my point. That's all the point I'm trying to make.
They're better than what situation, Coleman?
Changed.
I think he's in a better situation than the Jets. That organization is terrible
Okay,
from the
you're
top. They have another Jerry Jones there.
No, they have another Detroit before everybody rearranged their shit. It was Detroit. That shit was no way to win that. It was no way to win any way around because the Detroit organization and from the top down was a cancer.
Okay. Do you not think that that's going to be the same type of problem in Pittsburgh with him?
The situation already is set up differently. So I believe that there's a shot. I'm not saying I think people are giving them no hope. I think that's super unfair.
I never give them. I said earlier. I said earlier.
Okay, here.
Yeah,
What you
I
ain't
said
gonna
earlier. I said
what
earlier.
ain't nobody finna do is discount and diminish Mr. Rogers. Ain't nobody finna do that.
He's diminishing himself.
Yo, I literally said earlier. I figure the Bills are a threat, Steelers are a threat, and the Browns are still a threat. That entire division is the number one division in the league. No matter who does what. Okay. There's reason for it. But as for the Pittsburgh Steelers itself, that team, the organization itself, mind you, there's more pressure now for Mike Tomlin to go beyond this, having another above 500 year.
Absolutely.
Because you pretty much is like, look, you're bringing in a 42-year-old man to run that offense that has not changed. You do not have a running game. You keep relying on his arm, and his arm strength has dwindled in the last 4 years, and everyone knows it. Okay, your defense hasn't changed, even though you signed TJ Watt to a big deal contract, but have no inkling to fill anything to surround him with.
Yeah,
so you're going to see, mind you, in the division, the Steelers are a threat to the Ravens and even to the Bengals, but to the rest of the league, no.
I don't know because you got to look at Thomas.
Well, sit back and look at what
he got to get out of here.
All right, thank you, Mr. Comer, for coming on.
All right, Mr. Comer. All right, man.
I feel like
all right.
from the time Tomlin stepped on, he has had great seasons, and they all been ugly looking. They have not all been pretty. I'm simply just rooting for, and I'm saying that is going to continue. Nothing's going to change there because it ain't like you signing a complete bum. Like regardless of, I know people want to do this ageism thing and they want to say whatever, but when the situation or the line around them is decent, we don't know what that could produce. All I'm asking everyone to do is just wait because they're counting them out, and I think that's so unfair. It's so unfair.
Respectfully, he's 42 years old. He's 42. You can't beat Father Time. I don't care what you do. You know what I mean? I don't see him beating Father Time. He's not like a Tom Brady in a Tampa Bay situation. I don't see that with Pittsburgh. What else offensively? What weapons does he have?
DK? She said DK.
Okay, and he's been injured.
Outside of DK, what else do they?
Come here.
Yes,
come here.
I'm curious. I'm being realistic here. What other weapons does he have? You don't have a run. You're relying on his arm strength, which we all know 42-year-old is not the same as a 20-year-old.
Because you can't hear you in the back.
Yeah, come on in.
He said, come on in. Here she coming, look.
I'm not trying to bash your team. I'm just speaking reality here.
It is the truth. The Steelers are a team that it's an aging team. It hasn't really. I mean, you have an aging quarterback in the backfield. Your running game hasn't really improved in the last 5 seasons. So please tell me how you see the Steelers being better than above 500.
First of all, ain't nobody worried about Aaron Rodgers' his arm. Because 1, we got DK Metcalf who runs routes. 2, we have the best tight end ever. I don't give a fuck what anybody say. Freiermuth is the man. He steps up and he is there when we need him. Let's go back on when you said about the defense. I was upset they got rid of Minka, but then I had to go back and look. Minka only had 1 interception this season. Minka was the man the past 2 seasons before that, and Jalen Ramsey is like that and he's younger. For the record, am not an Aaron Rodgers fan. I honestly wanted to go up into Latrobe to training camp and be like, excuse me, Mr. Khan, excuse me, what the fuck was we doing? However, y'all not going to talk about my Steelers, who the weapons that he got, because he has them there. And let's all remember Pittsburgh is a blue-collar town. We make the stars. We make them stars. So Aaron Rodgers being there, you don't think that all these youngins that are in training camp trying to make the team, and whoever makes the team ain't gonna be like, this old man ain't gonna get to shine. I'm fucking taking it.
I don't see that happening. I'm being realistic. I don't see that happening. I don't see that. I really don't see that happening. You know, I look at the Steelers and I'm like, oh, here's big thing. You don't have to run game.
A star. What round did Ben go in and what number? We made AB a star. We made Le'Veon a star. And anybody who fucking leaves us that we made a star busts out in the NFL or any other team. We make it. We make that.
But
I'm sick with it. That team is not above 500 this year. Pittsburgh Steelers would not be above 500.
Oh.
No, me, do you want to make a wager on that?
No,
I'm out of that one.
We can make a wager, a friendly wager. We can put a bottle on it, Nomi. A bottle on it.
We can put a bottle on it.
We can put a bottle on it.
All right, we have a record at 4:47. Whatever the
You can't tell me Aaron Rodgers is better than Mark Sanchez.
Steelers may not be above 500.
So here's his point. Say your point. Say it. Listen. He said, come here.
I look crazy right
now. He look crazy. Here's what he's saying. Come on.
I'm saying
All
that.
right, say your name. Who are you?
How you doing, Jalen? Nice to meet y'all.
Hey, Jalen. How you doing?
Good. Do you remember the year that Mark Sanchez took the Jets, I believe, to the NFC Championship? And he had a killer defense.
Yep.
The weapons, offense was subpar. You telling me that Aaron Rodgers can't do the same thing with Aaron Rodgers being a better quarterback and having better offensive weapons? Yep. And the defense being good and having Mike Tomlin? Come on now. Stop.
Okay, okay, let's revert back to that point you just made. When Sanchez was a quarterback, mind you, he was, if I remember correctly, a rookie.
Yes.
Yeah.
Rex Ryan was the head coach.
Yes.
And pretty decent head coach. And pretty much he surprised everybody during that year. The second year, next thing you know, we get the butt tackle. He fumbling and passing all over the place, and not everyone figured it's like his career is over, which ended up happening. Aaron Rodgers goes to the Jets, figuring the same situation, and he had a good defense there. It was building up. They pretty much dragged his former top wide receiver security with the Raiders to help be on this team, and pretty much even before and after his ankle exploded, you know, it was terrible, absolutely terrible. There's him going to Pittsburgh again. I just don't see it because, like Tony said before, it is not the same situation where Brady was going to Tampa. There's no all the weapons are here for him. It's not like that. It's still a rebuilding process, or Brady it's a patching process because of the fact that either they lose guys through free agency or they can't afford them, and they're bringing in other guys for a lower rate, so that way they at least have a decent team on the field. I mean, mind you, like I said, the Steelers will play, and I never, ever, think of them as a lightweight at all with my team.
Okay, because they play
for this season in general,
they get busy.
Yeah, but as for this season in general, mind you, besides the the 6 games you got to deal with this in our division, but the
Mhm.
remaining 10 is not going to be the same for him.
All I'm gonna say is any given Sunday, and I'm gonna
Right.
say this: Mike Tomlin's a better coach, in my opinion, than Rex Ryan and what Aaron Rodgers had in the Jets. And I think it's a better system in place. I mean, no matter who's under the helm, Mike Tomlin at least be above 500 every year.
Every year.
Can't be there, and he makes the playoffs.
Every
I'm
year.
saying you're giving him a better quarterback.
So, okay,
I mean, I'm saying like he at least make it. He'll make it far.
to make it interesting.
But you're not giving him a better quarterback. You're giving him an older quarterback. You're giving him an older quarterback. You know what I mean? Like,
Well, you mean
the thing is-
Aaron Rodgers is better than Russell Wilson and Justin Fields?
They had it. Just
So,
if you
I would have kept Justin Fields over Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
As a young quarterback coming up, I would have kept him.
wasn't the question, though.
That
All
wasn't
right,
the
what was
question.
the question again? Repeat the question, Jim.
I'm saying you telling me Justin Fields and Russell Wilson are better quarterbacks than Aaron Rodgers.
As of health wise, yes.
I would have took that combo over Aaron Rodgers. Yes, I would. At this stage of his career, I would take Justin Fields and Russell Wilson over Aaron Rodgers. Yes, I would.
You said the question.
The question was, is Aaron Rodgers a better quarterback than Justin Fields and Russell Wilson?
Okay, are you okay? Let me expand to this. Are you basing this off of career stats, or you base it off of
There
current
you go. I think that's
situations?
where it's coming
You're
from.
taking career stats, yeah, Aaron Rodgers is the better dude. But if you're talking about a current situation
Performance.
based off of his health and how his ability is, no, I'm taking Justin.
But we can't. We don't know his health right now.
We don't know.
We don't
Thank
know.
you.
He's coming
That's
back.
what I
He's
agree with
not
that.
moving anywhere. He's not mobile. He's not mobile like he used to. His arm, like I said, his arm strength has literally dwindled.
Okay,
in
you
the
say
last
he's
4
not.
years.
You say he's not mobile like he used to. Name me. Okay, Matthew Stafford's not mobile like that. Sam Darnold's not mobile like that. Jared Goff is not mobile like that. And look how far they've gotten, respectfully, in they took the team this year. So
Again, it's based off their offense.
But respectfully, let's look at their ages, though, compared to Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
He's an
Which
old man
makes it
in this sport,
worse.
still trying to
Which
hold on.
makes it
that's
worse.
like, what
think
makes it
he's-
worse is he's still good.
And they're younger. That makes it worse.
And let's talk about. You say we talk about O lines. What you think the Steelers O line is really that bad of O line?
I think if you
I
can't
don't think it's the
open up
best. I don't think it's the greatest.
running game, no.
Okay.
I just feel like, again, you rely more on your passing game than your running attack. And like I said, for years they kind of gotten further away from the running game.
That's true,
So
but
now,
nowadays,
go
ahead.
ahead.
I said nowadays. I'm saying nowadays with the running game is not so prevalent. Like it's a lot of RPOs, a lot of short. Listen. It's a lot of RPOs, a lot of screens, a lot of short game draws. It's no more. You don't. Besides the Eagles and the Ravens, there's no power runner, no fullback, or no pistol formation and straight up. It's a lot of short game. It's a lot of side to side, east to west, not a lot of north to south. So we can't really talk about.
And when you're saying that, who is the Pittsburgh Steelers running back? Their starting running back or their running back group?
You can ask me. I'm a Redskins fan, so y'all already know all that.
Oh, so
information.
me and you cool. We right here.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? We cool. But I'm saying even like our running game, like our O-line wasn't like that last year. We made it.
No, it wasn't. All the line was terrible. It wasn't great. I think it's going to get. Has it gotten better? Are they going to get? Did they fill some holes? Yes, they did. They need to.
You know how we made up for the running attack? Screen game, quarterback play, RPOs, quick game. So I'm saying you don't need. Is the run game helpful? Absolutely. I'm not questioning you guys on that, but you're saying you can work around the run game though. You can work around.
Yeah, but you become a one-dimensional team, and one-dimensional teams can only get you so far. And I've seen it. You know, if you don't have a decent, if it wasn't for Barkley, pretty much honestly, they would have been a one-dimensional team. And
I agree.
I agree with that because
well, actually, they still a one-dimensional team. They were exposed. I'm sorry.
No, I was saying I was agreeing with his point about the Eagles, but also saying like, yeah, if they couldn't run the ball because passing. Hurts, he's a nice quarterback, but he's more of a game manager. He's not threading the needle. He's not, doing all that. But,
That's all he could do. Because look how they played when Hurts went out last season.
Oh,
They were one-dimensional.
Yeah,
They're one-dimensional team. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I agree with the comment that he is a good game manager. He can facilitate the ball where it needs to go. I don't see that with an Aaron Rodgers at this stage of his career. I don't see that with an Aaron Rodgers. And
you know
solely
what?
relying on him to carry your team, I don't think it's a great idea.
And respectfully, you're not going to see it because he don't have the line that Hurts has. They don't have that totality that Hurts has. So you're not going to see it. But what I think you will see is better than what the position was in the Jets. You will see something different. And I keep saying, when you come into different organizations, Tomlin, an organization that pretty much is set up to be, if not in contention, but at least playoff every year, somebody got to tighten up. It's there. The potential is there. I think he's the piece. And y'all keep saying age and whatever, but I think experience is what that's going to bring. He's been there. He's been there. And you know what? If listen, because they thought Russell Wilson was going to bring that same thing. There's a difference.
What, 5 years? 5 years.
Seriously, though.
All the time, Russell Wilson had to prove that, and he didn't. And nobody ain't saying shit. But the moment that Aaron Rodgers comes in, people want to bring in age, and I think people want to age things out. But I think we should all just shut the fuck up and wait and see. We gotta wait and see.
We can wait and see, Kiki, but the reality of things, you can't beat Father Time. I know he's not the same player that you remember him to be. And in his mind, he still thinks he is.
He was Tom Brady, and guess what the fuck happened?
Yeah,
it's not the same situation, Kiki.
If you look at, excuse me, I'm not a yeller. If you look at the age of some running backs, look at the age of some receivers and the age of some tight ends, and guess what? There's always an exception. I'm not saying that Aaron Rodgers is that exception, but I'm saying that he's not. I'm also saying he's not. I mean, he may not be, and he may be. So just hold on.
Okay. Well, we'll see. We'll see. Okay.
I would love to revisit this conversation with you mid-season.
Yes, we'll bring you back on for that midseason. Well, we want to wrap up, but before we go, lately we've been playing. I always bring up these weird games, game type of thing, and I have this perfect one. I go through Instagram and I see all these weird stats and stuff like that. So, I have this stat where every NFL's team's worst head-to-head opponent.
Gee.
So, since we have two Commander fans and we have a Cowboy fan, so I will start with the lady first. The question will be: is this who you think is their worst head-to-head opponent?
My team.
Yes, your team. Who is, based off of the record, what is your team's worst head-to-head opponent? Currently, among all the 31 other teams they're playing against. Who's their worst worst?
I think it's going to be the Redskins because we play in our division the hardest, and it really is a lot on the table where that's concerned. So I'm going to say them.
Okay. I'm definitely going to say the Cowboys. If you want head-to-head, and we're talking over the years, it's definitely the Cowboys. For us, it's something about that game. It's just, you know what I mean? Like, we don't care if we make it anywhere. As long as we beat them, it's what matters. You know what I mean? And that was a culture for years. But I want to say Dallas.
Okay.
And
I'm going to say either the Giants or the Cowboys. I feel like that's the worst.
No, who was y'all worst head-to-head opponents, you think? She said Dallas.
Dallas, okay.
What do you think? Your Ravens. That's what she said.
Okay. All right. So, surprised enough, you're all wrong.
What?
Because they're basing off of percentage, pretty much winning percentage and stuff like that. So for the Commanders, their worst head-to-head opponent is the Kansas City Chiefs. They are 1-10 against them.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
That's why I said Dallas, because
yeah. For the Dallas Cowboys, their worst head-to-head opponent is the Baltimore Ravens.
What?
They are 1-6.
Wow. Okay.
Not enough know that.
Yes. The Pittsburgh Steelers, you have to go back starting in 1933. Their worst head-to-head opponent is against the Chicago Bears.
Wow.
Okay.
I can see that.
Yeah, their record against them is 8-19-1.
Yep.
Oh.
So yours is, what about yours? Is it the same?
Ours is those pesky Patriots. We are 3-9 against them during the regular season. So I thank you all for this nice, cool, real talk, uncensored reunion. Tone, people, where can people find you at?
Find me on Facebook. Find me on Instagram. Find you. It ain't hard to find me.
I'm finding. And Miss Kiki, where can they find you since you've moved into new decor and all that stuff?
You can't find me in Atlanta no more, but you can find me Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Widow the Web Slinger, Kiki, and of course our beautiful and highly coveted Real Talk Uncensored. You can get us there on all platforms.
All right.
Yeah, that's where you can find us at.
Yes.
Yeah.
And they will be making a comeback for your fans. I know you've been saying that you're a comeback, so they're just got to get some paperwork done here and there. You can see No Filter on Sport. On Sport.
Wow.
I think that's a weird name. No Filter Sports Instagram page. You can see it down where my name is. Because everyone hates how I explain it. But anyway, thank you, Tone. Thank you, Kiki. Thank you, Mr. Coleman. Thank you, Nomi. Thank you, Dylan. Thank you, anybody who came on in Kiki's home to say hi and say something.
Right.
We will see you hopefully next month, and we'll revisit this thing again because
I love that.
Football is back, and we'll see you next month here on No Filter.